Once upon a time, there was a fisherman who lived in a faraway land. Ebiakwa was a very poor fisherman. He lived with his pregnant wife in a small hut, and he was friend to everyone in the village. One very early morning, Ebiakwa set out to the village river as usual. It was just a normal day like every other day. A few other people had also started their day. He met some night hunters returning back home, and they exchanged pleasantries. When he got to the river, he saw some other fishermen who had also come to check their traps as well. He went straight to his own trap, hoping and praying for a big catch. But unfortunately, that was not the case. He was disappointed to see a very little fish caught in his trap. "Ah, it's one of those days," he sighed. He took the fish out of the trap and battled with the thought of letting it back into the river or going home with it. It was just a very tiny, beautiful fish. "What could I possibly do with this?" he asked himself. But then again he thought, "Let me appreciate this little, that God may bless me with bigger catch tomorrow." Ebiakwa kept the fish in his fishing basket and walked to his canoe. The other fishermen were complaining about not catching anything at all.
"It seems all the fish have gone on a trip,"
one of them said. After casting his net a few times without catching anything, Ebiakwa decided to go home. Just a few steps away from the riverbank, he heard a voice. "Please put me back into the river, good man. Do not take me home with you. Spare me, and I will grant you as many wishes as you would have." He looked around and didn't see anyone. He tried to move again, and that voice came again, louder this time. "Please put me back into the river, good man. Do not take me home with you, please. Spare me, and I will grant you as many wishes as you would have." And then it dawned on him. It was the fish. He looked into his basket and watched as he continued. "I am a princess fish. We came to this part of the river for a royal meeting, and that is why the other fish had to move to the other part of the river. Please, let me go, and I will grant you whatever you ask." Ebiakwa thought for a while and said, "I have no wishes. I live with my pregnant wife and we are fine as we are. But I will let you go because you asked." The princess fish was very happy. "Thank you so much, good man. I won't forget this favor. Whenever you need anything, please come back here at the same time any day and call me out. I'll be here to grant your wishes, as many as you have," she said as she disappeared into the river. When Ebiakwa got home and told his wife about it, she became very angry.
"Oh, you think I'm comfortable? What sort of house is this we live in? Because I haven't been complaining? Go back and tell the princess fish that we need a big house, or I will leave your house and never return."
The next day, Ebiakwa went back to the river at the exact time the princess fish had told him. Princess fish," he called. "I have come to make a wish. My wife has asked that I wish for a big house." "Oh, good man," the princess fish replied. "Your wish has been granted. Go back home and you will see your wife in your beautiful big house. And do come back whenever you need anything else." Ebiakwa hurried back home and saw his wife in a beautiful big house. They were happy all day. The next day, the wife said,
My husband, such a big house as ours should have very big and expensive things in it. See, The things we have in this house do not complement this house. Please go back to the princess fish and tell her we want very big and expensive property in our house.
Ebiakwa set out to the river the next day at the same time the princess fish had asked him to come. Princess fish, he called out. I have come to make a wish. My wife has asked that I wish for big and expensive property in our new house. Oh, good man, the princess fish replied. Go home, for your wish has been granted. He got home and really, his wish was granted. The next day, the wife went to him and complained about her dresses and jewelry.
They no longer complement our status,
she said. Ebiakwa went to the princess fish and it was granted. The next day, she complained about not having maids.
I worked so hard that I saw my beautiful dresses,
she said. Ebiakwa went again and it was granted. The next day, she complained about not having security guards.
We have so many expensive things in this house and thieves may want to come and rob us,
she said. Again, the princess fish granted this wish. The next day, she complained that the guards were too thin and had tiny legs.
What can these ones possibly do? Go and wish for very strong and hefty guards,
she said. Yet again, it was granted. It went on and on. She asked for practically everything. And then one day, she went to her husband.
Now that we have everything, and we are richer than everybody in this village, including the king, go to the princess fish and tell her that you deserve to be the king, and I, your queen.
Ebiakwa was not happy. The king is a good man. But he thought, if it will make her happy, I'll go. Ebiakwa went to the princess fish the next day, and the moment he made his wish known, the princess fish became very angry. I've had to tolerate you and your vain wife for too long. I've given you everything you asked for, but I can see that you are never satisfied. Now, go back to your wretched house and remain as poor as you were with your wife. Ebiakwa hurried home to see his wife in their old house. They regretted everything they did.
I should never have been too vain,
the wife cried.